First, I wanted to walk across, not in front of you, because I respect all that are on this panel. I think most of us have flown in airplanes. I don't think we need a show of hands. I think Ms. Chavez and the mayor have probably flown enough that they could give the instructions that the stewardess always gives. But as I was thinking about what was going on, I thought about flying in those planes. And one of the things they tell you is, if the cabin loses pressure, the air mask will come down. And they say, what? Put yours on yourself before you put it on your kids. And I think as we're sitting here, that's one of the things that we need to remember. As a country, if we are not strong, if we are not breathing and functioning well, it's going to have a negative impact. We've heard the challenges that we've had with the leadership in dealing with some critical issues, and as we all know, elections have consequences. As I'm looking and hearing all of these things, and I want to thank you to the Iranian American community of Arizona. I want to applaud you, as the senator did, because we need to have this information. We need to be joined together. I think too many times we've got people that when you look at a country and they're in the news, you think of all of those people and you paint them with the brushstroke of what's happening in their country. But yet I think there's a majority in this room that would say we don't want to be painted with the brushstroke of what's happening with the leadership of our country. So I want to applaud you and thank you for bringing this information to us so that we can realize that you are much like us as a founding country where we were fighting for our liberty, fighting for our freedom. And I see you in the same situation, and thankfully we can work together to help you find that same liberty, that same freedom in your country. And so I want to thank you for that. If this impassions you, if this emboldens you, if this causes you to realize that something must be done, then I would encourage you to step up to the plate and make sure it's done in our home and then what goes out. Talking with Ms. Chavez earlier, it was an honor to speak with somebody who'd actually been in the Reagan administration. And here was a man, and a lot of times we've got a lot of people that don't want to get into conflicts. We don't want to be the police force of the world. But here was a man, a leader, who had the courage, the strength, those attributes that the Secretary of State had talked about that were Boy Scout attributes. But he had those attributes. Courage was one of those. And he was able to rise up and lead this country in a way that he could solve national and international problems without shooting bullets, without warfare. In fact, as I was listening to this, I was thinking of him, and I thought about how when Carter was president and in Iraq, when we had our Americans taken hostage, all it took was to have a man of the quality, the character of Ronald Reagan being elected, that Iraq knew this was not a man that they could mess with, and the first thing they did was, hey, we need to free these people. That is the kind of leadership we need in this country. That is the kind of leadership we need to work for so that it will not just be America, but every country around the world that desires freedom and desires liberty. We will be able to unite together to make that happen. And I encourage all of you to be involved in America, in the work with our Iranian brothers and sisters. And I want to thank you all for being here and thank you for the information that you provided.